Ever wished you could just, talk to your computer, tell it what code to write, and it just does it?
The dream, right?
Totally. Well, imagine coding feeling less like wrestling with cryptic symbols and more like chat with some kind of super smart assistant.
Okay, I'm listening.
Well, that future might be like a lot closer than we think.
Yeah.
Today, we're diving deep into OpenAI's massive $3 billion acquisition of Windsurf.
$3 billion, wow. Yeah, Windsurf, the AI coding platform.
Exactly. So what is Windsurf? Why did the folks behind ChatGPT make such a, huge bet? And what's this mean for really anyone who touches technology?
Whether you're a seasoned developer or, just curious about what's shaping our digital world.
Right. Get ready, because we're aiming for a breakdown that's, let's say, a bit more insightful than just scrolling through endless tech blogs.
Sounds good. So yeah, the main event, OpenAI buys Windsurf for $3 billion. And we've got a good mix of sources here, news articles, strategic analyses, looking at what this deal really means.
And our mission for this deep dive, it's pretty straightforward. Cut through the hype, understand the actual significance of this acquisition.
Figure out its potential impact on, the whole AI coding tools market.
Yeah, and what it signals for the future of software development itself. We're going to use some first principles thinking, a bit of critical analysis.
And maybe some movie analogies to make it stick.
You know it. Okay, let's jump in.
Right.
So let's start with the fundamental truth, something we kind of know intuitively. Software is still, eating the world, right? It's everywhere.
Absolutely. Mark Andreessen's phrase still holds. Software drives pretty much everything, and that's not changing anytime soon.
And who builds all this software?
Developers, the coders, the engineers, they're the ones making it all happen.
Precisely. Now, here's the twist. AI is increasingly stepping in not to replace them, but to augment them, to assist.
Right. Making developers faster, more efficient, handling maybe some of the tedious stuff.
Giving them coding superpowers, essentially.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating, almost recursive, is this idea of building AI with AI.
Say more about that.
Well, imagine AI tools getting so good, they actually accelerate the process of writing code for new AI models.
Whoa. So AI helps build better AI faster.
Exactly. That creates this potentially explosive feedback loop of innovation. Things could start moving incredibly fast.
Okay, so if developers are crucial and AI tools are making them better, that whole ecosystem, the tools they use, that becomes really valuable digital real estate, doesn't it?
Prime real estate, yeah. Owning a popular AI-integrated coding platform, that's a huge strategic asset for someone like OpenAI. It's not just about having the best AI model anymore.
It's about owning the workshop where the building happens.
You got it. That's why this move makes a lot of sense from their perspective.
Okay, let's zoom out a bit and apply some critical thinking. If Windsurf, plugged into OpenAI's models, really delivers on this promise, we can see what supercharged development.
Potentially, yeah. Much faster creation of new apps, new services across basically every industry. It's like giving every developer an Iron Man suit.
I like that. Augmenting their natural abilities, boosting productivity massively.
That's the potential upside.
But, okay, there's always a but,
yeah.
Right? Does concentrating this much power, the AI models and the primary coding tools, in the hands of one or two giants, does that raise concerns?
It definitely does. You have to ask, could this lead to a less competitive landscape, maybe a kind of walled garden where innovation outside the big players gets harder?
Yeah, is it good for the whole ecosystem or just for OpenAI and maybe Microsoft?
That's the critical question, and it goes beyond just competition. What about the ethical side?
How so?
Well, if AI starts writing more and more critical code, maybe for infrastructure or finance or healthcare, who's responsible if something goes wrong?
Good point. How do you audit AI-generated code? Ensure its security. That accountability piece gets blurry.
It really does. These are big questions we need to grapple with as these tools become more capable.
So, tying it back to OpenAI's strategy, this $3 billion isn't just buying a cool tool. It feels like a statement.
Absolutely. It signals they're serious about being an end-to-end AI platform and tool provider, not just, the folks who make the clever chatbot model.
They want to own the infrastructure for AI-driven software creation.
That seems to be the play. It's a massive bet on that future.
Okay, you mentioned movie analogies earlier. Let's try that. First principles, software needs developers. Developers need better tools.
Right. Think Tony Stark in the first Iron Man. He realizes his suits are limited by their power source. He needs something fundamental, something better, the arc reactor.
Ah, okay. So OpenAI sees better AI-powered coding tools as their essential arc reactor for unleashing the next wave of software.
Kind of, yeah. It's that foundational piece they believe they need to unlock the potential.
Got it. Now, the critical thinking part, the concentration of power.
Well, you could maybe think of Lex Luthor always trying to acquire some powerful, often Kryptonian technology.
Yeah.
The question with Luthor is always, is he really going to use it for the good of Metropolis or just to increase his own control and power?
Right. So is OpenAI's acquisition ultimately going to benefit everyone in the developer world, or does it just strengthen their grip, their dominance? We need to watch that critically.
Exactly. Progress for all or power for one.
And the ethical side, AI writing critical code.
That one makes me think of HAL 9000 from 2001, A Space Odyssey. An AI making decisions, potentially running critical systems without direct human oversight.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that. Yeah, scary stuff.
It highlights the risks, right?
Oh,
How do we build in safeguards? How do we ensure responsible development when the AI itself is doing more of the developing? Big question.
Okay, those analogies really help frame the different angles here. Let's dig into Windsurf itself then. What is this thing that cost $3 billion?
So Windsurf, and it used to be called Codium, by the way. At its heart, it's an AI coding assistant. The big idea is to make development faster and, frankly, easier by letting developers use natural language, plain English.
You mean instead of writing precise code syntax, you can just describe what you want?
Pretty much, yeah. They call it vibe coding. You sort of explain the vibe, the goal, and Windsurf helps generate the code, debug existing stuff, even optimize it.
Vibe coding. I kind of love that. Sounds much less intimidating.
Right. Less staring at semicolons, more like collaborating with a really smart coding partner.
So what are some of its killer features? What makes it stand out?
It has a couple of neat things. One is called Cascade. Think of it like a chat tool built into your coding environment.
Right.
But it uses AI to help teams track how a project's going, flag potential issues automatically, sort of an AI project manager keeping an eye on things.
Interesting. Integrated project tracking. What else?
Then there's Windsurf Previews. This gives you a live, interactive preview of, say, the website you're building right there as you code.
Oh, nice. So you can make changes and see the result instantly without having to, like, compile and refresh constantly.
Exactly. Real-time feedback, on-the-fly editing, speeds things up.
And you mentioned it has traction. People are actually using it.
Oh, yeah. The numbers are pretty impressive. Over 800,000 registered users, apparently, and more than 1,000 enterprise customers.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it's not just some experimental thing. It's got a real user base.
Definitely suggests they've built something developers find genuinely useful.
So let's connect the dots. Why did OpenAI specifically want this tool, Windsurf? What are the big strategic drivers?
Well, several reasons stack up. First, the technology fit seems really strong. Windsurf's natural language coding, it just slots in perfectly with what OpenAI is already doing with ChatGPT's code interpreter, with Canvas.
Like peanut butter and jelly.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Combining them could create a really seamless, powerful coding workflow. Second, the market, like we said, is booming. AI coding tools could be a $20 billion market by 2027.
So buying Windsurf gives them a big slice of that growing pie. Fast.
Exactly. Third, that big user base. That's incredibly valuable data.
Data to train their AI models, specifically for coding tasks, make them even better.
You got it. Real-world usage data is gold for improving AI performance. And finally, it's about controlling the ecosystem.
Right, shifting from just being the brain provider, the LLM, to owning more of the whole body, the development platform.
Precisely. It's a move towards platform dominance in this new era of AI-assisted software creation.
Makes sense. It feels like a very deliberate, strategic chess move to get ahead of the competition. Who else is playing hard in this space?
Oh, it's definitely getting crowded and fast. You got the giant, Microsoft, obviously. They own GitHub, and GitHub Copilot is, well, huge. Millions use it.
And they keep adding more AI features, like that agent mode in Visual Studio Code.
Yep. Then you have Anthropic. Their Claude model powers some interesting tools like Cursor, which is another popular AI-first code editor made by a company called AnySphere.
So other big AI labs are involved, and startups too.
Loads of startups. Cursor itself. Replit is doing really cool stuff with online coding environments, and AI. Bolt is another name popping up. Everyone's trying different angles on AI-assisted coding.
And OpenAI's plan with Windsurf is basically to combine Windsurf's strengths, the user experience, maybe the vibe coding, with their own powerful AI models to try and leapfrog everyone else.
That looks like the strategy, yeah. Integrate the best of Windsurf into their ecosystem and outpace the competition.
And this fits that pattern we often see in tech, right? Big fish swallowing smaller, innovative fish to gain an edge quickly.
It's classic tech consolidation happening now in the AI coding space.
Okay, so this all sounds incredibly promising, but also complex. What are the big hurdles or challenges OpenAI faces now with this $3 billion baby?
Well, first is just the integration itself. Merging Windsurf's technology, team, and culture smoothly into OpenAI's existing structure and products. That's never trivial.
True, acquisitions can be messy.
Then there's regulation. The FTC and other bodies are already scrutinizing big AI deals. A $3 billion acquisition like this will definitely attract antitrust attention.
They'll be asking those questions about competition we raised earlier.
Exactly. And finally, there's the cost itself. $3 billion is a lot of money even for OpenAI, especially given reports about how much they spend just running their models.
So there's immense pressure now to make Windsurf generate significant returns to justify that price tag.
Huge pressure. They need this bet to pay off.
All right, let's bring it home for the listener. We've unpacked the deal, the tech, the strategy, the risks. What does this potentially mean for you?
Well, if you're a developer, the most direct impact could be simply better tools. Imagine Windsurf's user-friendly features powered by the next generation of OpenAI models.
So maybe smarter real-time code suggestions in ChatGPT Pro, advanced refactoring help, easier ways to navigate huge code bases.
All that seems possible, yeah. More powerful, more intuitive coding assistance. But there's the flip side we discussed, potential market consolidation.
Meaning maybe fewer independent tool choices down the line, more reliance on the big platforms.
It's a possibility, and the very definition of who a developer is might start to shift.
How so? The vibe coding idea again.
Yeah, Windsurf CEO Varun Mahan talked about enabling more builders, people who might not have deep traditional coding skills, but can use AI tools to create applications.
That's fascinating, kind of democratizing software creation, lowering the barrier to entry.
That's the vision. AI making it possible for more people to build things. And for enterprises, the promise is faster, more efficient development pipelines, maybe even end-to-end AI-driven software creation.
Okay, prediction time. Put your neck out there. Looking ahead, say 5 years. What's one bold prediction based on this acquisition and the trends we're seeing?
Okay, bold prediction. I think within 5 years, these AI coding assistants will go way beyond just suggesting code snippets or completing lines.
Okay.
I predict they'll be capable of autonomously developing entire software modules based on high-level natural language descriptions.
Wow. Like, build me a user authentication system with these features, and it just doesn't.
Pretty much. Maybe with some back-and-forth refinement, but largely autonomous module creation. And if that happens, it'll fundamentally change how software teams are structured and could easily lead to something like a 10-fold increase in software production speed.
A 10-fold increase? That's staggering. That would reshape industries.
It would be a massive shift.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, OpenAI dropping $3 billion on Windsurf. It's clearly more than just a line item on a balance sheet.
Oh, absolutely. It's a huge indicator of where the future of making software is heading.
The lines between the human coder and the AI assistant are getting fuzzier and fuzzier.
Yeah, blurring rapidly, which promises, incredible potential for innovation, for speed, for building amazing new things.
But also raises those really important questions we talked about: competition, ethics, control.
Definitely. Questions we need to keep asking.
So here's a final thought for everyone listening to chew on. If AI gets better and better at handling the how of coding the syntax, the boilerplate, maybe even whole modules, what becomes the most valuable human skill in the future of software? The what? The vision, the creative problem solving, really understanding what users need.
That's a great question. Does the focus shift from technical execution to strategic direction and user empathy?
Maybe. This acquisition kind of forces us to rethink those fundamental roles in creating our digital world.
What do you think? Definitely something to ponder.
Let's keep this conversation going.